podcasts over at wildgamesproductions.com and d20radio.com.
They came from the game table, dice bags in hand,
We have one brain that we share between us.
to talk about role-playing for all across the land.
And you'll like it.
The original, then basic, then one they scoured,
Kinda grabs you by the boo-boo, don't it?
to bring AD&D to the second power.
You want me to put the hammer down?
Welcome to THACO's Hammer, the best damn AD&D second edition podcast ever.
Something like that. It's it's like cleaning out your drain every once in a while. Anyway, hiya, folks. GM Glen here. Yeah, and it's THACO's Hammer, Spy Book 177.
We're back.
Oh boy, we are back, and as I said, I'm DM Glen, and there's DM Brian,
Hey, folks, what's going on out there?
and DM Corey.
Welcome back, guys. THACO's Hammer, the rain gutters of the RPG community. We have to clean out our emails.
Yeah, and looking at his miniatures cave there. Full on. Say hi. We got DM Full On.
Greetings, Gamer Nation. Plague Master, COVID survivor, walking the streets again. Yay!
This is why I saved him for last.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go into hits and crits.
Well,
One thought he was invincible, the other thought he could fly.
so,
They were both wrong.
Son of a bitch is dug in like an Alabama tick.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
We're sending somebody in to negotiate!
Anybody else want to negotiate?
Hits and crits.
Hits and crits. Hello there. What you guys up to? Who wants to go first?
Well, I have the most to say.
You go, then you go.
All right.
You go, boy.
Okay, well, let's see. The first thing, I've completely moved house.
Yay!
I'm now in an
A drop
apartment
in.
complex about 0.3 of a mile down the street from my old one. With a 3-bedroom house, so my son has his own room, and he's extremely happy about it. But the bad news about that was I did about 90 to 95% of the moving myself. The only
Ouch.
yeah. I mean, well, actually, let me redo that. I'll say 75% because the moving company got all the heavy stuff in here that I couldn't handle on my own. And
That's what I do.
Yeah, that whole thing was a nightmare. Sheesh, I never should have taken a moving company out of town. Ugh. The first day it was supposed to go down, the movers come in, the guy looks around, he's like, this is not ready, I can't move anything but this room, and blah, 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 and he goes outside and starts whining and complaining to his boss, and he's like, well, if you can get everything ready by Tuesday, we'll come back, but you still have to pay for, our the fuel expenditures and 2 hours of work because it takes an hour to drive down here from where our base is. That was $200+. Then they come down on Tuesday after I spend literally 3 days, 8 hours a day in the old apartment, packing stuff up and throwing stuff out, and oh my god. So that got done, and then we've been here for 3 weeks? Yeah, about 3 weeks now, and this past Friday, half the power in the apartment went out. And we found, and it took maintenance, and I'll give them all the credit in the world. It took them 5 hours to figure out what it was, but they responded quickly, unlike my old place. And
for everyone listening at home, It is not Hurricane Ian related.
No, it is not. I live in Michigan. By the time it gets to me, it's going to be basically just be a fairly intense thunderstorm. I mean, full on where he's at, he got more of it. And Glenn lives in Oklahoma. You live in Pennsylvania. You'll probably get some storms if it goes that way.
Not me.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. So just this whole moving thing has like knocked me completely on my butt. I'm only starting to recover now. I mean, I've been trying to record an episode of my own podcast, Confessions of an Arcade Addict, but I just haven't had the energy to do it, and only through the constant berating from these three jokers am I here today. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Just a lot
Full
going
on, what's up? Full on, what's up?
Ricky, then happy birthday to me.
Really?
Happy birthday to you, sir.
Happy birthday,
Yes.
Full on.
My birthday gift to me was a month prior to that, a trip to Gen Con, where I bought all kinds of swaggity swag and sent swaggity swag to other gamers.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Ooh. Nice.
Still driving the drive. Still got piles of stuff on hand. Catching up on anime, sending anime. More stuff is starting because the autumn season is starting. So I'm going to harass you guys some more.
Hey, look. I may complain a little, but whatever I get is benefiting my grandson. So.
And if you haven't yet, go watch friggin' Cyberpunk Ed Runners on Netflix. Damn.
Yep.
The video game on console and PC is crap, but the anime is you're sitting at a friggin' table with people. This is what it's like.
It's literally an animated Cyberpunk.
And the RPG is always good.
Yes, and the RPG is always good.
Haven't seen Cyberpunk Red, but I hear it's really good. Corey, what's up?
What's up? Sitting over here, working my butt off. Real life update. Got a promotion coming up. About ready to be handed a management team to manage. That's all the way out in Utah. We'll see how that goes once it's given to me. Gaming news. Still working on my World Anvil site. Did a couple communiques with some people about World Anvil itself. And
is that our first official plug?
That will be a hint of a first official plug, but yes, we are in the process of becoming affiliates with World Anvil. There will be a link on the website. We hope anyone listening at least clicks on the website or click on the link that'll be on our THACOshammer.info site, which will then take you to sign up for an account.
Cool.
Other than that, still drawing for Arcanum. More and more photos, and just playing Roll20 D&D every Thursday. Still crunching players.
Yeah, I've been keeping track through your Discord, Corey.
Oh, you have been?
Yes. I'm like, yeah.
Essentially, they're trying to stop a cult that's trying to reactivate a dead god, which is essentially, for those of you who know the genre, if you took Nurgle from Warhammer and Tzeentch and merged them together, mixing it with the deity from the second Conan movie, the Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan the Barbarian Destroyer, Dagon, merge them all together, and that's the god they're trying to bring back to life. So,
Eldritch.
Yes, an Eldritch horror. Yes.
How Eldritch.
Nice.
Son of a gun. Well, let's see what's going on with me.
What is going on with you?
Well, a few weeks ago, last month, Gage turned 19.
19. Wow.
Finally got his learner's permit. Took him 4 tries on the test, but he did it. Now he's spending the month driving. Then he's going to take his driving test. And he's already got a car. So, guess who doesn't have to go? Who won't be going to McLeod every weekend to pick him up?
Yeah, that works.
Me.
Yeah.
Because I'm already taking his dad to work and back every day. So let's see what else we got going. The Thursday game, Matt's Thursday game is still going. His RC Beckme game. The Monday Ebron game is still going. And I've been loving this.
Okay.
I did a review of it,
Cool.
Master Edition Index Card RPG.
We're gonna go to the
And
podcast.
I was so impressed. I even got the Essentials deck and the Think deck, which is supposed to help. Let's see what else. And I started the Hyperborea. My monthly Hyperborea game happened last Monday. They're off to to rescue the sea captain who, from the last adventure, his sister, who is a priest of Apollo, got captured by priests of Yig for sacrifice. So they're going into the abandoned snake temple to go rescue her. And since it's going to be October, it'll probably turn into a Halloween thing. So I got to put more on dead. I got to put more on dead in there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I told you this last time, but my Thursday game that Matt Evans runs,
right?
He did something that I rarely see in a game. Not last weekend. We only played. We played Hero Quest last weekend, but the weekend before, we are in the middle of clearing out the Caves of Chaos.
Okay.
And we got to the Orc Caves.
Okay.
And there was a whole Orc clan in there with, like, there must have been about at least 30 orcs or something like that, plus a chief. You know, and they were set up. I mean, they had the women and children there. They were cooking. They were, you know, and we went in there and we practically just massacred all the warriors that were in there.
Okay.
And the big chief came out and we're going, okay, here we go. Big fight. He took, I think, one swing, or we took one swing and he parried it, and he took his shield and sword and laid it down. He said, take what you want. He said, take what you want. Don't hurt the women and children.
Wow. Okay.
And my jaw dropped. I had never seen a GM do that. And we responded. We did loot the place. And it was amazing. I mean, I'm playing a dwarf, and you know, dwarves hate orcs. Even he was impressed. So we took him, we tied his hands together and walked him out because we had like one more cave to go. We're looking for the cultists.
Right.
And we just said in Orc, I said, you see, because we confirmed he'd seen the cultists, and they said, where? And he pointed up to where the cave was. I said, okay. I turned him around, cut his bonds. I said, go live your life. I was, really? They actually do that? I've heard of stories, but I've never seen anybody actually do that.
Right.
I mean, yes, you parry with stuff, but I mean, well, I was impressed. I was totally impressed.
Cool.
More GM should do that. I should do that more.
Well, you want to know something? That's kind of how it should happen if the chieftain fails his morale check. You know, but yeah, I like that. That's a nice little role playing interlude, and it's not like where, you know, the players just say, well, everything must die. So yeah.
Yeah, well, because Matt has two groups. He runs them every other week, and the other groups are the murder hobos. We're the role players.
Right.
Although we do get in our share of battle. And let's see, the Everon game is okay. I'm at 0 hit points. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
We're going to see what happens tomorrow night.
Right.
You know, on Roll20. And like, I think there's another person who is down too. But it's like, see, my character, Lojack, has a special little magic item. I don't worry about going down. I mean, I worry about dying. But I don't worry about going down because I have a parrot of, I can't remember the name of it, but once I go 0 or negative hit points, I'm immediately stabilized. Immediately. And I will not part with that for anything. Because I'm the human in the group. We got shapeshifters and other things in there. And I'm the leader, and I'm the human, so I've always got to play a little more cautiously than everybody else. But yeah, we started that battle with me taking my blunderbuss and firing it down the hall, saying, "All right, you're all under arrest." And then they came at us, you know, warforged and everything. Anyway, that's me.
Fun times.
Let's get on to some emails.
Okay,
I'm in the mood for emails.
All right, I got 3 of them lined up. Actually, we have a fairly full email thing because we haven't done a show since like
another reason we should do this regularly.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, when life doesn't interfere. I mean, it's like I told people on Facebook who would message me. I'm like, yeah, it's just like a game. It's just like trying to game when you're a full-grown adult with responsibilities. You know, You try to get together, you set a date, then something falls through for one or two people, and we just have to table it till the next one. So
Gage is starting to call in on the Thursday game because he's working. He's selling furniture.
Oh, cool.
At Ashley, and making a ton of money, I understand. But which is that's a good reason to miss a game.
Right.
Yeah, because the more money you make, the more gaming stuff you can buy.
Exactly.
There you go. I knew somebody had to say it.
Exactly. All right.
Anyway, what do we got in the mailbag?
All right, I've got one from DM Felix to start us off. Okay, and he starts off saying, "Guten Tag, Equos Hammer," and that's the German translation of THACO's hammer. It's like a whole different thing. That's an interesting one.
Gotcha.
Okay, he says, "This is probably your biggest fan from South Germany writing in again. Within a year, I made my way up to now Splatbook 125. I'm loving your show, and I want to say a big thank you for keeping it up all through the years." Okay, you're welcome, by the way. Here come my questions. Yes. How do you handle riders on a mount? Does the rider and the mount use the same initiative, or are they rolling separately? If separately, what does it mean if the rider is quicker than his horse, for example? Is the mount allowed a separate attack? Because if so, I can hardly imagine how it feels to swing a sword on a Pegasus that's just kicking a bugbear. It must be bloody hard. Or does the rider have to decide either he wants to attack or the mount itself? Thanks to hear from you, DM Felix.
I got to answer.
Okay.
First off, well, I'll just real quick and then I'll let Corey go. First off, as far as what do you say, AC and movement, it's the horses. Mm-hmm. I think it should be the horse's movement. Well, let me take that back. The horse's movement and the character's AC. Mm-hmm. And I'm the kind of GM who will go whichever is higher too. So that's my 2 cents.
Or you mean lower?
Corey? Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you meant. I just had to clarify.
In my campaign, steeds are treated as animal companions. A ranger and his wolf, a druid and her stag, etc. Mm-hmm. So if you are on your mount and you are riding your mount and you wish to attack, you attack at your initiative. And just like every animal companion in my campaign, the animal companions go at end of round. You swipe your sword from horseback, the horse can kick at end of round. Now, if you have the mounted riding proficiency in my world, or you are a class like a cavalier who like their whole world revolves around their mount, you have the ability to swap them. When you roll your initiative, you may have your mount attack at your initiative, then you go at end of round. That way you're holding back to see what your horse or mount does. Then you can then react to anything at the end of round. That's how I handle it in my world. And as far as AC, it is the AC of the creature, unless the monster or opponent is aiming for the rider, then it's the rider's AC.
Okay, that sounds good. What about you, Full On?
It kind of really depends on what's going on. The primary decision point needs to really be, is the mount an intelligent, acting on its own mount, like an awakened mount, or is it, a thing that is being controlled by a player? If it's a thing being controlled by a player, then it will act in initiative with the player as a tool of the player. And you would ride using your ride checks or whatever they happen to be, and you would attack against it would have the mount's movement because you're using it as a vehicle. It would have the better armor class of the player in general, just for attacks in general. But of course, if someone is designating a specific attack against a mount, then it's a specific attack against a mount, and that is what you would use the armor class for.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If it's something of the intelligent variety, then they have to cooperate. And that means that if you're trying to do things together and you don't want to work at cross purposes, the person who wins initiative over the other may choose to delay their action until the other person's initiative so that they can work together if they're trying to do things in sequence or after each other, so that they don't work at cross purposes. I mean, this really gets bad if you're dealing with things like dragons.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
anything that flies, it's a lot.
I think anything with an intelligence should have its own initiative. That's just my opinion. You have a Pegasus or you have a Dragon should have its own initiative.
And then if you're dealing with it that way, either they're cooperating and they're delaying actions to work with each other, or you are using your writing skill to impose your will on the other one so that it doesn't do something out of the ordinary. Or you'd have to make a writing skill check to adapt to whatever happened. And hey, you know what? You thought you were going to be over here on the battlefield, you're actually over here instead. What are you going to do with your new action? Change. You know, sometimes you just have to make choices that way.
You haven't fed your griffin mount in a long time. It throws the thief from his horse and eats the horse.
Oh.
Yep.
No, hold on, stop! Don't do that. Bad, bad puppy. Bad puppy.
Yep.
Well, you know, I think once you deal with flying mounts, it comes like a whole other can of worms. Because you're dealing with height and velocity and all that kind of crap.
Right. Yeah. Now
What about
you
you,
have to
Brian?
think in 3 dimensions. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. What about you, Brian?
All right. I was thinking about this. As a DM, it all depends. I mean, this is where having the writing proficiency really starts coming into play. Now, for me, and this is just something I thought of off the top of my head while Corey and Full-On were talking. Now, if you have let's just say a 3rd level fighter who has like a medium warhorse or something like that, but he doesn't have the riding proficiency. He doesn't know how to control his mount properly in combat. So I would say that it would be either the fighter would either have to attack himself during a round or the mount. Now, if he has the proficiency, now both can do it. You know, and it's in that way because you know how to control a horse with your legs better, and you're able to lean over and attack that orc on your right hand side, and then straighten yourself out and direct your mount over to an orc that's like 15 feet, 20 feet away, and have the horse run him down. And
It's the
things
same.
like that.
It's the same difference as far as a pilgrim on horseback and an indigenous American.
Yeah.
Who's born in the saddle.
Born in the saddle,
has
exactly.
way more skill. Yeah, agreed.
And then
not everybody's the riders of Rohan.
Exactly.
I mean, those are like what? At least even the lowest level of them's like the 3rd level, 4th level, probably double specialized in riding. You know, and it's all they do. So, I was just thinking about that. But when it comes to intelligent mounts, I mean, anything above animal intelligence, when you start getting into low and average intelligence, now it's like the two of you got to kind of figure out how to do it. And if you
got to coordinate.
Yeah, coordinate, and then at that point, it's a separate role. And I think with like either land riding or aerial riding, you have to make a check every round, and then it's you're able to work as a team where you can attack once and then the mount can attack. I like Corey's idea though.
What the stereotype of me might be, and advocate a means by which you can reduce a number of rolls. You don't need to check every round for your writing checks, because that's sucking up actions and sucking up dice rolls and sucking up time. But you would definitely need to start the encounter with a writing check, a piloting check, or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
fair.
If a circumstance arises where a weirdness has happened, you may require a check again to regain control or maintain control if something is challenging that. That way, you don't have to keep doing that in the way of everything else. Once you're writing, you're writing. It's until something happens to throw a wrinkle in it, then you shouldn't need to change it up again, and that would annoy players if they have to keep making micro checks all the damn time.
You're right.
This might help me when I'm running like chases for like gangbusters, even with cars. Same thing. You shouldn't have a driving check every single round.
Nope.
Only if you're trying a maneuver to either catch who you're chasing or
there's
lose
always
who you're being chased by.
That falls in the category of stunting and weirdness happening that requires a check. If you're trying to do a abnormal thing,
Yeah. Okay.
And more importantly, if you just boil it down, it's the same way that a lot of the proficiencies work. You don't need a swimming proficiency. You need a swimming proficiency to swim in armor.
Well,
you don't need a fire building proficiency. You need a fire building proficiency to build a fire in Hurricane Ian.
Yeah.
That's what those proficiency checks are for.
And that's a hell of a
more
check,
than
by
difficult.
the way.
Yeah, I know, right? But you know what I'm saying. That's the same thing with horsemanship. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Regular riding doesn't need it.
And one other thing, this is where this is also a difference between having a riding horse and a war horse.
Yes, exactly.
You know, this is a massive difference. Not only war horses they're better trained to deal with the weird stuff like magic and explosions and all kinds of things that will scare the absolute crap out of a riding horse, literally, and just take off with you in the saddle.
In the Wild West, they used to have to train the horses not to buck when a gun is fired.
Right.
Exactly. That's you got a wizard on the horseback that fires magic missile from the back. It could skitter and scare a normal riding horse, while a war horse would just stand there and just be like, okay, yeah, it's fine.
Right. Exactly. It's like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. Just
you
let
could
me know
also
next
use
time.
it if you want to make things like, while the horse is at a gallop or a canter or charging, if you want to be able to make a riding check or concentration check so that you can treat it as a stable platform so you can do spell casting from horseback
or archery
motion,
for that matter,
rather than trying to do it from trying to wait for an ideal static position. Because
this is
shoot, move isn't the way that kind of thing works.
Right.
I mean,
that sounds like in Gangbusters. That's the equivalent of somebody trying to fire a gun on the running board of the car.
Yep. While the car's doing like 30 miles an hour. I mean, it
Or
sounds
more.
like it's easy, but it's not. Not when you're hanging out of the door of a car.
Every time I run a chasing Gangbusters, people will take minuses on their to hit because they're in a moving vehicle. Just because they're in a moving vehicle.
We did actual, I've done multiple scenarios in the military where we did actual convoy defensive driving combat with firing from parked vehicles and moving vehicles against static and moving targets. It's a thing that can be done, and there's equipment that can help you do it, but it definitely takes practice and familiarity to work on.
Absolutely.
Oh, by the way, Felix, I would recommend, if you don't have it already, even the PDF of it, find yourself a copy of Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea, because they have a class in there called the Cataphract that you're gonna love. They're basically the Riders of Rohan.
Okay.
They're basically the Riders of Rohan.
Got it.
There, all horse, all the time. That kind of thing. But thank you, Felix. Thank you very much. What else we got?
All right, let's see what else we've got here. We've got an email, a new emailer to the show.
No.
DM,
really?
yeah, DM Sunny. Yeah, I knew you'd recognize the name, Corey. I read the email beforehand. I'm like, okay, Corey's gonna like this.
He's one of the cult hunters in my Thursday game.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, he says, "What's up, Elite DMs? I hear you're looking for ideas for the show since I was specifically called out by my Thursday DM, Corey. I figured I better jump on the horn before something dastardly happens to my favorite ranger, Karen." You wouldn't do that, would you, Corey?
No.
Never! Sonny, word to the wise, stay out of the sewers. Anyway, he says, my suggestion comes from a 1E podcast I listen to called Grog Talk. I'm going to have to check that out. Each episode, they run a random encounter rolled from the 1E monster manuals and or Fiend Folio. Being that a lot of the monsters are either exclusive to 2E or changed statistically, it would be awesome to see the same thing for my favorite edition. To keep it even more interesting, the winner of the random encounter moves on to the next episode where they face another random opponent. Even crazy mismatches have been awesome, such as a red dragon versus a goat, which has since become the show's mascot. That's hilarious.
Goats are no joke, man. I don't mess with goats. Goats and geese, those two creatures, man, you don't mess with.
Yeah. We run into geese up here all the time. They're nasty. Let me know what you think. I look forward to each episode, and if you need a guest one day, I'm down for that as well. DM Sunny, aka Karen.
I don't know
funny.
if Corey can handle that.
That's
You were a
funny.
guest, I mean.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's a good guy. You know, I'm not using a certain accent, you know, that you would be familiar with, but he's from New Jersey.
Oh no,
Okay?
he's from
Jersey,
Jersey.
okay.
No, he's
This
not
is
from New
Sunny.
Jersey. He's from Jersey.
Yeah, this is Sonny. Not joking around, you know. Forget about it. Sonny's a good guy. He's one of the players. I actually did not know Sonny, but I met his brother, and his brother joined through Discord and Roll20 and joined the game, and then he joined, and then his brother dropped out, and then Sonny decided that his friend should join, so his friend joined, and then I found out that they're a trio, so his third friend joined. So
Nice.
yeah, he's brought me
You just
3
got
people.
a constant influx of players, don't you, Corey?
Well, it's
Oh,
what
yeah.
happened, man.
Hey, I'm not knocking it. I'm like,
I'm
this
still
is a
bugging
good
you
thing.
every Thursday to come join this damn game.
Dude.
I'm waiting for us to do an AP game.
I know, dude. I have no time right now. I'm hoping things will settle down by the end of the year, and I'll revisit it. But right now, I can't. I don't have the time.
I would, but you hit one of the 2 nights I got game.
Yeah, I know, Thursday night.
Oh.
I tried to move it to a different
Thursday
night, but the other 3 guys that I just mentioned can't play except for Thursday. So I was like, all right, fine, we'll keep it Thursday.
Not
But
only that, I've got.
in
Yeah, go ahead.
Sonny's, to add to Sonny did mention to me in text that he would love a chance to have full-on DM a game for him.
Oh wow!
And
oh,
I went,
wow. This guy's
you
a
are
glutton
glutton
for
for punishment. Yep, that's exactly what I said to him. You are glutton for punishment.
Well, we already share the same birthday, Corey. We might as well be brothers from another mother. You know what I'm saying?
We are.
Yeah,
Yep.
for real. Yeah.
You're
so,
Tomax. I'm Zaymot.
Yeah. Okay. Done. Yeah. And we don't listen to what's his face. What's his face? I forget what his name is.
Zartan?
Zartan. Thank you.
Well, to be fair, you're black and I'm Korean, so that would make you Snake Eyes and me Storm Shadow. So we'll go that way.
I'm cool. That's fine with me. That's fine with me. I always thought I'd be Stalker, but that's all. That's good. That's cool. I can deal with that.
I wasn't gonna insult you and call you Snow Job.
No. Nah, and I'm not buff enough to be Roadblock. So.
Hey, Grimlock here would like you to continue.
Grimlock want more email.
Big Grimlock. Yeah.
Okay, we have.
Carry on, says Einzelbone.
Okay. It's been too long.
Easy, Ironhide.
Exactly.
I do a good Optimus Prime.
Yes, yes, you do. You do a very good one. Let's see.
Autobots, roll out.
Transform and roll out.
Prime.
Yeah. God, he was on every freaking cartoon back in the middle '80s. Anyway, okay, we have an email from DM Oscar. And
DM what?
DM Oscar.
Okay.
And he says
we got a DM Felix and a DM Oscar.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway,
can these 2 GMs live together without driving each other crazy?
Yes.
One likes 1E, one likes 2E.
Oh my God! Can you imagine that?
One likes 1E, one likes 5E.
There you go. Yeah.
Ooh, someone should make a web series about that.
And across the hall, their new neighbor plays 1.
The creepy guy at the end of the hall plays World of Darkness.
Yeah. Oh no.
No, I mean D&D 1. That new nightmare.
Oh, that thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
We won't get there.
Yeah.
We don't edition slam here on THACO's Hammer.
Less
we
said
just
the
don't talk
better.
about
Okay.
Well, we don't talk about. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we just don't talk about that.
The first rule of Edition Wars is we don't talk about Edition Wars.
That's
Right.
right.
Oh, speaking of that,
We-
a copy of Edition
And
Wars you gave me.
and we don't talk about Pablo either. So
Yeah, we don't talk about
Anyway.
Bruno.
Bruno. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, Oscar says, "Greetings, Hammer Lords. Brian commanded more emails, so here I am. I'm glad somebody listened. Let's jump right into it. Named leveled characters, or name level characters. That's what he meant to say.
Ninth level and above.
Yeah, 9th level and above. When you reach this stage, the option of players acquiring something big and unique becomes available. Whether a castle, a tower, a holy abbey, or a den of thieves. It's available to all players, though not everyone wants it. Some players would like something different to Game of Thrones or to retire. What if the players want something smaller? What if the fighter wants to become a landlord overseeing a large farm? Could a wizard turn their tower sideways, making it a long school for sages? Can you see a thief making a legitimate business instead of a criminal one? Can you picture a thief and a fighter combining their stronghold to make a coliseum for both training and gambling? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I could.
All of the above, yes.
Yes.
It's entirely up to you, and you shave off the serial numbers and do what you want.
Exactly. I'd like to hear your ideas of taking this optional thing of a character can acquire and turn it around for something else. If the players want to combine things, what could you imagine? Make it grand or make it grounded? I'm all ears to hear what your imagination can conjure up. Take care, everyone. Oscar.
Thanks, Oscar.
Okay.
Let her rip, guys.
All right.
Oscar, I recommend you go watch the anime Banished from the Heroes Party.
And there it is.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. For me, I look at it this way. The only time that a character gets their followers is if the player comes to me and says, "I want a stronghold." You know, I mean, when it comes to certain classes, like let's say Ranger, because they start getting their followers, they just start showing up. You know, whether it's an animal of some sort, an exotic monster, or an NPC. Thanks to the Ranger's Handbook, and they expanded on those tables greatly. Or like, you know, or a paladin, or in my case, like a martial artist. As soon as they put down roots and they open up a dojo, like 6 to 36 0-level people show up wanting to learn immediately. The monk gets like 1 or 2 per level after they reach, I think, after they reach 9th. You know, but they don't get replaced if they die. You know, so yeah, the character can be a harsh taskmaster, and the training ends up killing his disciples because they weren't strong enough. Yeah, that's if you're running Pai Mei as a monk. Anyway, yeah, but I could see like someone wanting to do something a little bit different or a little bit smaller or combine it all. One of the games I played in was it was a Forgotten Realms game, and I'm trying to remember who made it first. I think it was the Cleric. The Cleric of Tempest made name level first, and then the Drow Fighter made it right after him, and then another character made it after him. I think it was a mage or something. So we found this one underground complex in like Impiltor or something like that. But it had a tunnel going down into the Underdark, and we had to basically seal that off first. That was like the condition on which we could have like this little underground complex. So, you know, we basically made it deep enough for the Drow Fighter to be comfortable, you know, to where it's like, oh, this is almost like home. And then all the couple levels above is where, you know, the Cleric was and the Mage was. And we had different wings of the place for their the Wizards complex and the Temple of Tempest. I think the Temple of Tempest actually was on the surface. And then followers started showing up. And my Ranger was only 7th level, but when I think she was going to reach 9th, is when the animals were going to start showing up. So, you know, so we're going to have like this whole huge
Noah's
complex.
Ark.
Yeah, it was going to be interesting. So, you know, that I could see it going down like that. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
And you also got to remember that the whole point of name level is it serves several purposes. One purpose of the concept is to expand the scope and reach and power of your players. Another unwritten concept is you need to money sink the hell out of your players because they have too much, and you have to keep that in a constant rotation and flow so that they don't just say, I cash the money in and win on whatever it is they're trying to do. So you have multiple reasons to do this, and you can have multiple results from this. If they actually are actively not wanting to take responsibility for other people, whatever the genre might be, you have these people who start showing up and drifting in and, start stalking, and then they get rejected and they start going tsundere on them. And then you suddenly now have a arc of villains that, if you don't start adapting and adopting and taking control of these people and guiding them, they're going to turn into problems for you.
Well, that's
an option. You could be mean about it, or you could be fun with it, or you could be nice about it. There's a whole flow of different things that can happen.
Yeah, for real.
I wouldn't worry about that unless the first guy who shows up is named Buddy.
So
I'm glad one of you got that joke.
I didn't hear it. Sorry.
It's all right.
Buddy? Okay.
Buddy.
Well,
also known as Incrediboy.
Oh, okay. Oh, got it now. Okay. I didn't know what genre.
The worst kind of follower you could ever want.
My question is, his original question is, do we deal with title names? Is that what his email would pertain to? Because I kind of got lost in the story.
And how do we change it up if people want to do different things with it? Which you totally can do.
Yeah, in my world, how I treat it, you come across a ruined castle and you're a wizard and you're like, I'm keeping this castle, I'm taking it, it's going to be mine. I don't care if you're first level, you now have a castle. You want to turn that castle into a school for thaumaturgy or transmutation, it's now a school. It doesn't need to be a wizard's tower. It's just what it is, and you can call yourself whatever the hell you want. I don't care if you call yourself Grand Butthole of the Pointy Hat People. It's your title. You call whatever you want. In my world, you hold on to that location and your title, but it's not official until you defend it. So I don't care if you turn a castle into a thieves guild, you turn a castle into a casino and call it, Monty Hall's Egypt land, whatever you want to call it. You can do that with any building. You just have to defend it. And the defending it tells me that you're more invested in making sure that it stays, which means then giving somebody a title is like no big deal. It's like, okay, I reached level 9, I'm blank. Okay, that's fine, but that's the last time they're going to touch that again until they have to change it when they hit level 10.
Right.
Giving them a reason to have that title is more important in my opinion than the name title itself. And as far as the buildings that you get, could you turn a tower sideways and turn it into school? Heck yeah. You could take a barn and be like, hey, you see this barn? Yeah, the people inside died of, some disease. They failed their save. It's now my school. It's a one-room schoolhouse in a barn. Cool, you're a wizard and you have a schoolhouse of one. Fine, call yourself.
I thought an interesting concept if like a wizard makes name level. Oh, you're going to make your tower and do your research and all that, and says, nope, I'm going to buy a ship and sail the world.
Yep.
And do it.
Yep.
And just kind of like enjoy myself.
I'm out gathering
researching.
components. I'm a traveling component exploration vehicle.
Exactly. I thought that's a great idea.
A wizard's ship, and every time he comes into port is kind of like the beginning of Willow, where they were picking an apprentice. He'll pull up to the docks and he will take 3 new apprentices from the docks, thereby all the young wizards. And then what they do is they get on and they essentially get, what's the word that they used to do when you used to get forced to become a sailor? No, there's a name for it.
Shanghai.
Yeah, but something like that. But yes, essentially he Shanghai's the new.
You've been voluntold.
Yeah, and literally, okay, where are we going? Well, during the day we're gonna work the ship, and then at night we'll do this schooling, and then when we land on this island, okay, you 15 new apprentices, go find his components. Okay, we'll go to the next.
Yeah, that's a great.
New components.
It's the press gang approach. I mean, it works.
Yeah, that's the word.
It works for the Navy. It works for the Jedi. It works for the Rebellion. If you've been watching Andor, you know what I'm talking about.
But yeah, that's a cool idea. A concept of a wizard with a ship that literally takes his apprentices, and they're his sailors. And when they hit a new land, they don't bury treasure. They go looking for spell components, rare and unused spell components, because they need them for their spell research.
And after a while, you get up high enough level where you just want to be by yourself and do it. What a better place to do is get a sailboat and stock it up and
there you go. Yep.
Do your research.
No, it makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, boy, I come up with some doozies sometimes.
You do.
See, this is the problem I have with everybody saying, "Oh, the game gets boring once you make name level." No, it doesn't. It's like it's just that the priorities change slightly if you want
that's
them
what they don't like.
Yeah.
Let me
go ahead, Corey.
I told you about the wizard on the ship. because that still opens them up to adventure and plot hooks and things like that.
Exactly.
So
yeah, if you don't feel like dropping anchor anywhere or setting hooks down into a piece of land, you don't have to.
No, you don't have to.
You could just keep epicking.
I'm going to shamelessly plug a somebody that I enjoy his podcast. Matt Colville put out a book or PDF that I've purchased and downloaded, and I am starting to use it now in my world, which is called Kingdoms in Warfare. It is not just for name titles, but even with name title levels, it works there. It shows you, okay, so you pick a group, your group now has a building. What do you want to call it? And that's where I got the concept of you can hold on to something, it's yours it's not yours until you defend it. But in that book, it goes through, okay, you guys now have a keep. What are you doing with the keep? Okay, these people showed up for the keep. Now what are you going to do? Well, we're just going to leave it alone and go adventure. Great. While you're in your world, in your land that quote unquote is your yard, so to speak, your territory, you get this bonus as long as you have the keep. Having the keep and controlling the keep and defending the keep give you bonuses to your party while you're playing. For example, you own a druid grove. Great. While you're around the druid grove, one of your party members at any time can use a certain die, and again, this is all 5th edition, which I'm trying to make a backwards compatible 2e version of, but you get 1 die a day to summon 1d4 woodland creatures to come to your aid while you're in your area around the druid grove. There's one for a pirate ship, there's one for a tower, there's one for a keep. It's got great ideas for you to mine off of, as all 4 of us have always told all of you for the last 200 some episodes. Take the resources, mine it for the info that's out there. Absolutely. There's some great concepts in that book. I suggest you even pick it up, even though it's not 2nd edition. You can still mine it for its goodness.
Right.
I agree 100%.
No argument there.
Nope.
Thank you, Oscar. That was quite enlightening. And
I mean, do you know how many 5th level parties I've had take over Quasqueton and decide, this is nice, we're going to just keep it.
That's a lot of real estate to hold on to for 5th level characters. But yeah, I get the point. You know, I mean, if any enterprising players can do that. You know, I mean, there's a dungeon adventure set in Forgotten Realms where you get a keep, or you basically get a keep. You have to drive everyone in it out, or kill them, and then you inherit it. But then now the problem is you're tied to that place, because if you leave, unless you've got some really good, really strong friends who are only maybe a step below you, you know, you're gonna come home, especially if your DM's a prick, and everybody who is there is dead, because the orcs came down, the hobgoblins came over. They're like, oh, this is a nice little spot. We can actually raid shipping from here, or caravans. We're going to take this over. You're all going to die. And next thing you know, now you got cleaned it out again. And
look what happened to Bilbo when he came back in the end of the book. He lost his house.
Yeah. Well, which is
well, he got it back, but
I was gonna say, he got it back, you know, because that was the whole thing for Fellowship. But yeah, I take your
He had to kick his neighbor's ass, but
well, by the time he got back, he could kick his neighbor's ass. You know, it's like, you know, Bilbo and Samwise Gamgee, you know, just seeing somebody starting from zero and becoming a hero.
Yeah. Anyway, you guys want to, you know, send us more emails. We always like more emails. That would be thacoshammer@gmail.com.
Or the new phone number, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, the brand new phone number, because, you know, I was dumb enough to let it expire, and I can't get it back. So
the new phone number to call us and leave us a voicemail: 405-757-7547.
Indeed. Yes, indeedy do.
Might even remember that. Who knows? Anyway, let's move on to people skills. As I said, people skills. The complete Paladin's Handbook kit.
Yeah, the
Medician.
Yeah. Okay.
Combat medic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, combat medic indeed. Okay, this once again taken out of the Complete Paladin's Handbook. I'd give you the page number, but unfortunately my son spilled milk on my Complete Paladin's Handbook and the pages are stuck together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that at all. I'm not happy about that at all. I'm probably going to have to buy a brand new one from Drive-Thru. Not a...
Oh, they do. Are they doing POD on all the splat
It's
books?
page 61.
Thank you, Corey. Yeah, page 61. Okay.
I know they're doing POD.
Yeah, I
splat
know.
books.
Yeah, I just rather have the electronic version anyway. It's okay.
I understand.
Yeah, that's why I haven't taken it out of my son's hide. I didn't say that. Anyway, penis. The Medician. Description. The Medician seeks to treat the sick, alleviate suffering, and save lives. Much of her training has been devoted to the medical arts, and she follows a religion whose deity promote healing and compassion. On the battlefield, she is as likely found comforting a wounded comrade as engaging an enemy in swordplay. Though as much an enemy of evil as any paladin, the Medician has decided that she can best uphold her principles by fighting injury and disease. Very interesting. I like the concept. The Knights Hospitalers, I think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I first read it, all I could think of was Clancy Brown from Starship Troopers screaming for medic.
Yeah, exactly. Which is kind of funny considering he's always Barney Badass or the real bad evil guy in every movie. It was an interesting take for him. Okay.
Hey.
What?
Hey, Rawhide died.
Rawhide?
I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Go watch
Who's
Bucky
Rawhide?
Banzai. Go watch Banzai.
Oh, that guy.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that's
geez.
Clancy Brown.
Yeah, oh, wow. Jeez.
You didn't know that?
No.
Wow.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right.
Go on, big booty.
Yeah. Not anymore. I've lost too much weight. The requirements. The Medician must have an intelligence score of at least 10. The administration is I forget what the administration is. I won't go into it now. The role. A Medician candidate undergoes rigorous training in a variety of demanding courses, including herbalism, anatomy, and diagnostics. After completing her academic studies, she must spend at least a year as an apprentice to an experienced medical practitioner. Because of the length of her training, a candidate rarely becomes a first-level Medician before she reaches her early to mid-20s. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because usually paladins are like, 15, 16, 17 years old. A Medician assumes the role of a healer, whether at home or in the field with an adventuring party. She brews antidotes for poisons, sets broken bones, applies poultices to festering wounds, and stays up all night with ailing mounts. In her free time, the Medician experiments with new treatments, develops new diagnostic techniques, and compiles notes of past cases to share with other healers. A Medician will never abandon or neglect wounded, diseased, or suffering lawful good characters or creatures. Should no lawful good patients require attention, most Medicians will apply their skills to neutral characters and creatures. However, only in extraordinary circumstances will a Medician knowingly treat an evil character or creature. Interesting. Let's see. The Holy Symbol is with a heart, open hand, silhouette of
die?
infinite. Huh? What? What's that?
Never mind. Go ahead.
Okay.
No. I want to hear what you said.
Okay. Symbol is the holy symbol with a heart, open hand, silhouette of an infant, cross, or a drop of blood in it. Okay, that's a nice little distinction. Secondary skills: farmer, groom, or scribe. Weapon proficiencies. The Medician spends so much time with academic studies that her combat skills invariably suffer. Therefore, the Medician has only one weapon proficiency at first level. That slot must be spent on either lance, battle axe, or sword. She receives a second weapon proficiency at third level and a third at sixth level. She receives a total of 3 weapon proficiencies for her entire career.
Wow.
Yeah, she may choose any weapon to fill her second or third slots. Let's see. Non-weapon proficiencies. As a bonus, to get diagnostics and healing. There's a limit to that. Because of her mastery of the healing arts comes at the expense of other skills. A Medician may acquire no more than 3 proficiencies beyond her bonuses. Wow. She has only a single proficiency slot to spend at first level, another at third level, and a final at sixth. Okay, this is a nice drawback. I like this. Let's see.
I can handle that.
Yeah, I could handle it too. In addition to her standard equipment, the Medician must purchase and maintain a set of healing equipment. Typical set includes needles for stitching wounds, cloth bandages, tourniquets, splints, sterilizing ointments, and a selection of non-magical potions and herbs for soothing headaches, settling stomachs, and reducing fevers. These items don't heal damage.
And a jar full of dire leeches.
Yeah, really. I could see that, actually. The initial cost is 50 gold pieces. At least once a month, the medicine must replenish her kit by either buying new supplies, which cost 1 to 4 gold pieces, or scavenging them, which takes 1 to 4 days. Until the Medician replenishes her kit, she can't take advantage of any of the proficiency bonus listed in the special benefits section. The kit weighs 1 pound. So yeah, got the first aid kit ready to roll. Bonded mount is any, and like I've said before, the bonded mount chart in the Complete Paladin's Handbook is superior to the one in the Player's Handbook. It's a lot different. I like it. Special benefits. A +1 bonus to all diagnostics proficiency checks. If the Medician acquires herbalism, the herbalism proficiency gets an additional +3 bonus, bringing it to the bonus to +4. A +1 bonus to all healing proficiency checks. A successful check enables her to restore 1 to 4 hit points if applied within 3 rounds of being wounded, instead of 1 to 3 points within 1 round. Under the care of a Medician, patient recovers 1 additional hit point per day if the patient travels, and 4 points per day if the patient rests. If a Medician spends 5 consecutive rounds caring for a poisoned patient, the patient receives a +4 bonus to his saving throw made at the end of the 5 rounds. And if the care is interrupted, the patient saves normally. That can come in handy at low level.
Very handy.
Extremely handy.
If you don't have healing potions or anybody to lay on hands.
Exactly. You know, let's see. Okay, well, I'll talk about the role playing after we're done here. The special hindrances. Once per year, the Medician must suspend all normal activities and spend 2 to 5 consecutive weeks at a university, hospital, monastery, or any other lawful good institution that offers both religious and medical training. During this period, the Medician refreshes her skills through prayer and study. Failure to comply results in the loss of all proficiency bonuses listed in the special benefits section. As a punishment from her deity, the Medician also loses her disease immunity and the ability to heal by laying on hands. She regains all the benefits and special abilities as soon as she completes a 2 to 5 week stay. That's interesting.
Wow.
That's kind of tough for an adventurer. I'll say that for sure.
No kidding.
Okay.
I would totally steal something from Dororo there and just have that alternate be go to battlefield and just donate labor.
Okay, yeah.
You go to random medieval battlefields and just start tending wounded.
It doesn't matter which side.
It doesn't matter what side. Yeah, just whoever you find, you care for
Find
the
their
wounded,
wounds.
you care for the dead.
Yeah, I personally have taken this class and used it myself, slightly different, but yeah. I'll wait till we're done.
Right.
Now you got me. Now I got to go watch Dororo.
Yes, you should have done that 2 months. You should have done that a year ago.
It was a COVID package.
Yeah, there was actually. I could see. I like this class because it's a good balance. It has highly increased healing ability, and I could see now. See my regaining hit points through rest. I lifted that straight out of 3rd edition because it made more sense. Instead of it just being 1 hit point, I made it 1 hit point per level. You know, just healing through traveling, and then it's like 2, 3, and 4. 2 is for bed rest, 3 is for bed rest with healing, 4 is for bed rest with healing and herbalism. And I would just put that bonus right on top of that. So yeah, you could get somebody on their feet really quickly.
And don't forget the wonderful world of hit points and vitality.
Yes, that too. Yeah, the vitality.
That's another way to approach it, which gives you interesting results.
Yep, for real.
I'll say.
So yeah, I like it because the ability, their combat ability suffers because of it, and their ability to take non-weapon proficiency suffers because their study is mostly about healing. You know, I mean, they're still effective combatants, but yeah, I could see them being the field medic that can still kick butt. You know, I like it. It's actually really, really well balanced. And the only thing is that the 2 to 5 weeks is kind of rough. You know, I could see it, being on adventure and they just end up having to go to, a hospital and just donating their services for 2 to 5 weeks while, the party, just chills out in this city and plans their next move and things like that. I don't see, it's...
This is where you manage your ability to use time skips as a DM. There are things that other people do other than camp and murder hobo. Yeah. So you take the time to do that. You don't have to sit there. Today's session, we shall gather around and we shall talk about how we've all gone down to the hospital today and listen to conferences. Meanwhile, I'm going to throw some DVDs on. We're going to watch Scrubs. No, that's not playing. Come on.
Scrubs. Well, that or what's the name of that damn show?
Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
House.
Yeah, House. ER.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
hell, we could go all the way back to MASH if we want to.
In my world, this is
each
one of my gods has their own priesthoods, their own specialty priests, and almost every single god in my world has their own paladins. This is my paladin kit for my god of healing.
Yes.
People who still want to be a healer, but still want to be more worthwhile in the fight and getting bonus attacks per round and things of that nature, but they still want to heal. I tell them, you want to be a paladin, but you want more healing than a cleric has, or than a paladin has, or you want to be a cleric, but you want to have more fighting abilities than a cleric has. This is the class you want, and it is for my god Kalis, which is essentially my Ilmater.
Okay. Well, that's interesting because you said Kalis. I'm like, what?
No,
Paramount may be calling you.
K-E-Y-L-I-S.
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what?
Yes,
comes
I know.
Up. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I think with these class splat books, as they progressed further and further along, that the authors of them got better at making kits that made the character more interesting or to play. And had a good balance of, well, you have this, but this goes this. You'll have to give up this.
Six-Finger Druids. Yeah, you're right. They did get better as it kept going.
You're still on that. I know you're an artist, Corey, and I know it sticks.
I'm never
going to
let go of that. It is.
Yeah, I know it sticks to your craw, Corey, but come on now.
I know it's at Laces Out Dan level, but still it bothers me.
I know. I know. It's bothered you
ever
since we
covered...
Yeah, but
as far as that 2 to 5 consecutive weeks, I dropped the word consecutive in my world, so it's just 2 to 5 weeks once per year, so you can do a week while the rest of the party heals in the town. You can go back out, you come back in, you can do another 2 weeks, etc., etc.
Right.
That way, it's not consecutive because I try to make it a little bit easier, but yeah. So, but yeah, this is essentially my Paladin of Kalis.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. I agree with that point. That the 2 to 5 weeks is a little harsh, but yeah, I get it. I mean, and not only that, it ties into your piety points because I would say, I would start it at like a week, or no, start at like 2 weeks, and depending on how devoted you were to your deity through that time, until you were able to. Go and devote your time to a hospital or whatever,
right.
It would tie into your piety points,
Yep.
So, you've been sort of neglecting your prayers because you've been too busy fighting. So that's just too bad. Well, you know how it was going to be 2 weeks? Well, now it's 5.
Yep.
12 hours a day, things like that. So,
yep.
Yeah. Glenn?
Yeah, sir.
Okay. I think
I'm still here.
I think
I'm not violating my paladinhood. I'm conducting tracheotomies. I don't
That's
care
right.
if he's still wearing a light. I have a scalpel, and he needs to breathe better.
And my scalpel is my broadsword, but it's not necessarily the wrong thing to do.
You're not doing a tracheotomy. You're just taking the damn arrow out of his neck.
Yeah, for real. Jeez. Yeah.
As the Medician wades onto the battlefield, who needs amputations? Free amputations!
Yeah, for real.
Sometimes everything is a violent purge.
That's it.
Sometimes.
That's right.
I mean,
Anyway,
you've seen Hellraiser 2. The doctor is in.
Yep.
Well, if you want to talk to us about this, folks, you know where we are. THACOshammer@gmail.com.
Yes, indeed.
And now we are going to have a snipe hunt.
If you only had a living brain.
What do you think, escaped gorilla?
Listen, you're making enough noise to wake up the dead.
I don't have to wake him up. He's up.
It's time for a snipe hunt.
Oh boy, snipe hunt. We haven't had a snipe hunt in a while, have we? We're going to go after.
We haven't had anything in a while.
We're going to go after the Topaz Dragon.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Last of the Gem Dragons.
The Topaz.
That's it?
Yeah, this is the last one. There are only 5. We did the other 4. Now this is the last one.
There's only 5 official, but yes.
Yeah, that's
the last
true.
Official one.
That's true. I'd be interested to see if. Well, then, God, there are how many gems? Hundreds? Yeah, you got a point. Okay. Let's see. Climate or terrain, temperate or cold seacoast. Frequency very rare. Organization solitary or clan. Activity cycle any. Diet is special. Intelligence exceptional, 15 to 16. Their treasure is special. Their alignment is chaotic neutral.
Interesting. It's a seafaring.
Which is
seafaring
very strange.
Yes, they are. It is. They're
and
very interesting to deal with. Go ahead.
And what are they throwing out of their throats?
Oh, we'll get to it.
Okay. Keep me in suspense. Go ahead.
Let's see. Armor class -1 at base, which is juvenile age category. Movement rate 9, flying 24, swimming 9. Hit dice 11 at base, THACO 9 at base. 3 attacks around, damage 2 to 7, 2 to 7, 2 to 16. Various special attacks and defenses and magic resistance, which we'll get to. Size, of course, is huge. Morale is elite.
So
Go ahead.
So they start at a -1 AC.
No, they are. That's age category 4. When they come out of the egg, they're armor class 2. So category 4 is like juvenile level, and then you go back from there all the way to hatchling, and then you go forward from there all the way to great worm. Okay. Morale is elite. That's 15 to 16. XP value variable, of course. Okay. Topaz dragons are unfriendly and selfish. Though not malevolent, they are seldom pleasant to deal with because of their erratic behavior. Yeah, chaotic neutral. Yeah, right.
It's the Tsundere dragon.
They're
the chaotic neutral ones.
Yeah.
They're a grumpy old man as a dragon.
Yeah, they're just like... No, it's just their behavior changes from moment to moment.
Get out of my cave.
Yeah. Well, or not, I don't care. Yeah, they're the ultimate I don't care. How about that?
Okay.
Topaz dragons neither seek company nor welcome it. At hatchling, topaz dragons are a dull yellow-orange in color. As they age and their scales harden, the scales become translucent and faceted. Adult topaz dragons sparkle in full sunlight. They speak their own tongue.
That's a blind.
Yeah, I know. It's interesting. They speak the tongue common to all gem dragons. 12% of the hatchlings have the ability to communicate with any intelligent creature, increasing by 5% per age category. Let's see. Topaz dragons dislike intruders but avoid combat, often conversing to hide psionics or magic use. If intruders are hostile or the dragon tires of them, it attacks psionically at first if possible, using spells as needed. They enjoy using teeth and claws and usually save their breath weapon until wounded. The dragon may pretend to surrender to buy time and retreats if greatly threatened. It usually makes one or more false retreats, attempting to come back and attack with surprise. Okay, the breath weapon. The dragon's breath weapon is a cone of dehydration, 70 feet long, 5 feet wide at the mouth, and 25 feet wide at the base. When directed against liquids, 1 cubic foot of water dries up per hit point of damage. Creatures caught by the cone can make a saving throw versus breath weapon for half damage from water loss. Ooh, that's just nasty.
Nah, I have my armor of Gatorade. We're good.
Exactly.
Necklace of adaptation for the win.
or a decanter of endless water.
There you go.
Let's see. Those who fail to save lose 1 to 6 plus 6 strength points. Those who succeed only lose 1 to 6 strength points. That's on top of the damage it does. Curative spells, less powerful than heal or regeneration, are ineffective against strength loss, although victims who are carefully nursed back to health recover 1 strength point per day. Medician!
Yep.
Yeah, please.
That is the breath weapon damage. That's not on top of breath weapon damage.
Oh, no, it is.
It's straight attribute damage.
Yeah, it's attribute damage and hit point damage. It is. I'm looking at it. It's both. So that's what makes
half
it really
damage
messy.
from water loss.
Yeah.
Those who fail to save lose strength points, but you still take damage from the water loss.
Yeah. It's
1 cubic foot of water per hit point of damage.
Never mind. I'm thinking
How many cubic feet of water is in the human body?
maybe 3, maybe 4.
Okay,
maybe?
Google.
Or mostly water.
How many cubic feet of water in the human body?
According to Math Central, University of Regina, since 110 60 seconds .4 equals
That's a fail.
He occupies 1.76 cubic feet of volume.
1.7. A little more than 1.5 cubic
that.
feet of water, which means you're hit with this, you are totally
you're wrecked.
beef jerky.
Yeah, for real. Yeah,
and that's from the University of Regina. Regina.
Oh my goodness. Let's see.
Sorry, I'm COVID recovering. My brain doesn't work right.
Oh, it's okay. It's all right. It happens to the best of us. That brain fog is nasty.
That breath weapon is nasty.
Yes, it is. Oh my god. Any creature reduced to a strength of 0 or less dies instantly. A topaz dragon casts spells and uses magical abilities at 5th level plus its combat modifier. So at juvenile, it's 9th level ability. At birth, topaz dragons can breathe water and are immune to cold. As they age, they gain the following powers. At young category, protection from evil or good 3 times a day, so they can do either one. Juvenile, they can blink 3 times a day. Ooh, dragon, they can blink. That's pretty nasty too. Adult, a wall of fog 3 times a day. Mature adult, airy water 3 times a day. A 10-foot radius per age category of the dragon. So what? Mature adult is 7, I think. So that's a 70-foot radius around the dragon. That's interesting. And old, they can part water once a day. Let's see.
Here's my problem.
What's that?
Go ahead. Here's my problem. Continue.
Your problem?
You're about to touch
what
it.
I'm about to read?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. They're psionics. Most topaz dragons prefer psychometabolic powers. I can talk. Really, I can. There's sciences for they either psychokinesis or psychometabolism. Psychokinesis, they have telekinesis, animate object, control wind, molecular manipulation, and soften. Their psychometabolism is energy containment, life draining, metamorphosis. Wow. Devotions are biofeedback, body equilibrium, cause decay, and chemical simulation. I can see where you might have a problem with this, Corey, because it doesn't work with what they are actually. I get where you're going.
No, what is this dragon's alignment?
Chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
Page 8 of the Psionics Handbook. Alignment, psionicists may only have one alignment restriction. They cannot be chaotic. Discipline is the foundation of all psionic power. The character whose creed is chaos cannot achieve the level of self-control that psionicists require. I've dropped chaotic off of my topaz dragons in my house rule. Just saying. Okay. That's my biggest problem.
I mean, the other answer, of course, is because dragons.
Yeah,
and it's like, that is a restriction for characters.
No, I get it.
The world can do what the hell it wants.
Yeah.
And
it often does.
Okay, almost done. Habitat society. Topaz dragons live by the sea, often building or claiming caves below the waterline. They keep their caves completely dry. These dragons enjoy sunning on rocky outcroppings, enjoying the wind and spray. They like water little and swim only to hunt or attack. That's interesting.
With those one of the great maneuvers with this dragon, probably if they're attacking like a ships or something like that, would be fly not into the sun, but with the sun behind him. If all those scales are so translucent, it probably cause a blindness.
I could see that.
Nobody could see him coming, basically.
Or even with his special powers, all he would need to do is part water underneath his ship, let it drop 500
part water
straight
work,
down.
airy water work.
And
You drop airy water under the ship, it's going to fall into the airy water.
Yes, it is.
And everyone's going to freak out because they're underwater. You could part water into it. That works. I mean,
give me.
I've had horrible things happen when people use raise water in a large body of water.
Yep.
In a contained room. That's the spell effect is not as large as the body of water you're in, but it's not big enough to be contained in the room.
Yep.
It's like making a sudden waterspout waterfall in the middle of the fight.
Right. I can actually see a topaz dragon being a pirate, just basically going up to a ship, casting airy water. The ship sinks down. The crew can still breathe, but now they see the waters around them, or part water, or something like using both. Even both would work. Saying, okay, give me your valuables, and I will take you out of this water. Otherwise, I'm going to let this pass, and you're going to drown. I could see that. I could see him being a pirate. Okay.
A very Bermuda's Triangle kind of approach to things.
Absolutely. Yeah.
An underground cavern full of water, 500 feet down.
And since he doesn't have the free action spell or ring of free action, nobody does. If they're down there with the airy water, they can't move really fast.
No, they
so
can't.
He can just go right down there.
That's what I'm saying. If he has the ability to part water once per day, all he has to do is have a deep cavern full of water where nobody can handle the pressure down there normally. Put all of his treasure down there. Oh, I want to go get that gold bracelet. Part water. I can go down and get it. Come back up. Let the water go back in.
What a great place for a horde.
Yep. Not very easily accessible except by him. That's true. They dislike bronze dragons. Big surprise, bronze dragons are lawful good and will attack them on sight. Let's see. Their diet, they prefer to eat fish and other aquatic creatures, especially giant squid. I can see a little adventure. I could see a little rescue the sea elf princess because the topaz dragon who's a meanie wants to eat her. Something like that. But,
or you could do a variation on
some Sahagin decide to lure their we'll play against trope, and instead of worshiping sharks, they worship a kraken, and they foist a kraken into the dragon's hoard, and he's very upset that a large appetizer has taken his treasure.
Yep. I was gonna say you could have Kuatoa come up on the surface and beg the human heroes for help. Why? Because the topaz dragon has moved in and grabbed some of their relatives and their people and put them on a string as bait for his favorite food, giant octopus or giant squid.
I like that.
They're like, hey, listen, I know that you normally kill us, but we're here to ask for help because we can't kill this topaz dragon because he's using us as bait for giant squid because that's his favorite dish.
Wow. Or you could, I keep seeing you could do a version of Moby Dick with a dragon added. You got a white whale, you got a dragon, you got a giant squid. You could have all sorts of fun. Throw in a sea monster, throw in a sea serpent too. Hey, what the hell?
So let's see. Their
Topaz dragon, who's specialized in cooking, wants to go to the Isle of Dread and hears about this really, really big pearl with a giant octopus or giant squid that guards it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And wants you guys to gather his cooking components.
Oh no! Or even worse, commissions the party to bring back a live co-brew.
There you go.
Yeah.
Those things are nasty.
This Chinese restaurant on the dock here, it makes the best sushi. I wonder what the secret is.
It's owned
by the dragon.
Topaz dragon.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's only open for lunch on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. That makes no sense. That's very chaotic of this owner.
Yeah.
Wonder what he could be.
Yeah,
He's probably Morph Topaz Dragon.
Yep, I could see that. And he doesn't talk to anybody. Anyone, he just ignores people who try to talk to him. Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, I like it. But yeah,
but he sells the best takoyaki.
Yeah, if you can afford it, that is, because the prices are really, really expensive.
We're at a seaweed, boss. Fine, I'll be back 10 minutes. He dies in the ocean, comes back.
Oh, he walks out on the dock and goes part water and walks out 50.
Picks him up. Hey, Moses ain't got nothing on this guy.
Yeah, for real.
Okay.
Let my people go.
Okay, folks, there's a lot of ideas there, and if you got any more or want to talk about it,
go on.
THACOshammer@gmail.com. Now let's go into Tomes of Legend.
In a world where adventurers do not follow the rule of burn all the books, you will find Tomes of Legend.
Tomes of Legend, I'm going to be in deep water again. Dragonlance, Dragons of Spring Dawning.
Yep.
1985. No.
What?
1990, I think, is when I read it last.
Yeah, I got this when it first came out in September of '85.
Yeah, I read it.
I was so hooked on these books, it was ridiculous. This is what really started me reading D&D stuff. It wasn't Gord the Rogue, even though I like Gord the Rogue. It was this. Because
mine were the novels that were the Wolf. I can't remember the name of them. The one that Choose Your Own Adventure that had the character sheet in the front. Yeah, I still have a couple myself. That's what got me. But yes, I remember seeing these and like being a little intimidated at the size of these 4 books that I finally got around to reading in my sophomore year.
Like 300 pages apiece. I get it.
And then Robert Jordan came into my life.
and then you realize that numbers don't matter so much.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
and then Terry Goodkind came into my life. Every book is
was
pages.
Was this turned into a? Was this also turned into a module?
Yes, the whole. The entire
novel
saga.
Series.
Yeah, the entire trilogy was turned into the novel series. Yeah, DL 1 to 12. Going directly from the beginning, how it starts to the end. Okay.
Railroading all the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And not even enough undulation to make it a roller coaster. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to start on that. Okay.
Well, you could say what the plot is.
Yes, I can't. Hey, let me get a drink because this is going to take a
minute. What kind of drink?
Water. If I start drinking alcohol, I'll never.
If I do Dragonlance, I'll need something stiffer.
Yeah. Okay. So
here, Glenn.
Apple. Ooh. And go get some Coke to mix with that.
There you go.
Crown Royal Apple. It's a little too tart for me. I need something to
sweeten it up a little.
I like the maple.
Mm-hmm. Maple's good too. Yeah, the maple's good.
I can drink that straight. Oh, that's good stuff.
Wow. Oh, what? Apple?
Crown Royal.
Crown Royal.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you didn't see the camera? I just held up the bottle to Glenn.
That's all right.
See the Canucks do something good.
That's right.
Oh, hey,
just lost half our listenership there.
That's like the only brown liquor I'll drink. So yeah, I guess so. Okay, book 1, Into the Blood Sea. The book begins with Tanis, Half-Elven, and Flotsam. Kittyar has recently left for Salamnia to lead the dragon armies in their failed attack at the High Claris Tower, which was depicted in the previous novel and resulted in the death of Sturm Brightblade. And yeah, like I've said, I have a signed trading card from Larry Elmore with Loriana standing over Sturm's body. It's one of my most treasured D&D possessions. Okay, Tanis returns to the other companions, being watched by the draconian Gakan, Kittyar's personal assassin. Returning to his friends, Goldmoon, Riverwind, Tika, Caramon, and Raceland, Tanis tells them the half-truth that he was mistaken for an officer by an unspecified Dragon High Lord and forced to continue the impersonation for his own safety. Never mind that he knew exactly who it was, and he went right into her bed Yeah, I was not very happy with Tanis about that. Um, Later on, the companions depart to Calaman via the Blood Sea of Istar by the ship Parachon, where the mysterious Barum, also called the Everman and the Green Gemstone Man, works as a helmsman. Kitiara leads her forces and her dragon Sky to follow the Parachon. Evading pursuit, Barum steers the ship straight toward the whirlpool at the center of the sea, which was formed over the ruins of Istar during the Cataclysm. Eventually, Kitiara is unable to follow him, but the Parachon is caught in the whirlpool, and the heroes realize they're doomed. Raceland uses his dragon orb to teleport away, leaving the rest of his companions behind. Foreshadowing anyone? Soon after, the Parachon tips over the edge of the whirlpool, and the rest of the companions vanish beneath the waves. Raceland's spell brings him to the steps of the Great Library of Palanthas, where the great librarian historian Astinus lives. The strain of working such powerful magic has left Raceland on the verge of death. When told of his presence, Astinus orders his aesthetics to bring the mage into the library. Knowing he will die soon, the mage requests access to the ancient spell books in the Great Library. Astinus grants this, but Raceland cannot use these books without the key, a formula that has been lost over the ages. Watching over the wizard who he believes will die soon, Astinus says his goodbyes, but then accidentally lets slip the fact that the gods Paladine, Gillian, and Tachesis are the possessors of the key of knowledge. Calling upon the spirit that has helped him before during the test, Raceland makes a dark bargain saying, "Save me and save yourself." Not long afterwards, the elven princess Lorana receives a message from Lord Gunthar Uthwistan, leader of the Knights of Salamnia, in which he names her the new commander of the Knights stationed in Palanthas. A political move on Lord Gunthar's part to limit the political maneuvering within the knighthood. Lord Amethyst of Palanthas then places her in command of the armies of Palanthas as well, since the city is full of peaceful people and the army has been deemed rather pointless for some time. Gilthanas and Silvara arrive in Palanthas, bringing the legendary good dragons with them. The two explain that together they journeyed to Sanction, the home of the dragon armies, and discovered the truth about the origin of the Draconians. The dragon armies had ensured the good dragons would not join the war against them by taking their eggs hostage. But now in the temple, Gilthanas and Silvara see that the clerics of Tachesis and the maids of the Black Robes have been perverting the eggs of the good dragons in order to spawn the new race of Draconians. Having been told what's been happening with their eggs, the good dragons are now willing to join the fight and avenge their children. Later on, Gilthanas tells Lorana that while he was in Sanction, he overheard the Dragon High Lord Kitiara bragging to Dragon Emperor Ariakis about how Tanis Half-Elven is serving her both as an officer and as a lover. This confirms for Lorana what Kitiara told her at the High Clerist's Tower in the previous novel. With the dragon lances in her possession and the good dragons on her side, Lorana organizes a flying cavalry of Knights of Salamnia and has her army take the offensive. Lorana becomes known as the Golden General during this campaign as her beauty and courage inspires her troops. Her army surges out of Palanthas, defeating the dragon armies in a series of battles and liberating much of northern Salamnia. During one of these battles, Tasselhoff and Flint, riding a bronze dragon known as Fireflash, captured Kitiara's second-in-command, Baccharis, who had insisting riding into battle despite not being able to use his arm previously wounded by Lorana at the High Clerist's Tower. That's the end of Book 1. Book 2. Lorana's army liberates the city of Calaman, which honors the Golden General at their Spring Dawning Festival. Kitiara responds by sending the elf maid a message saying that Tanis has been mortally wounded and wants to see her before he dies. Kitiara will only allow Tanis to be exchanged for Baccharis. Flint and Tass warn Lorana that Kitiara is lying and this is obviously a trap, but Lorana believes the message to be true and insists on making the exchange. Yeah, sucker. Lorana, Flint, and Tass take Baccharis to the exchange site where they are betrayed and forced to travel to Dargard Keep. Once they near Dargard Keep, Baccharis attempts to rape Lorana. Tasselhoff comes to her defense, stabbing Baccharis, and then Lorana is able to kill him. But then the Death Knight, Lord Soth, one of Kitiara's most powerful allies, appears. Lord Soth subdues Lorana and carries the unconscious elf maid off to Dargard Keep. Flint and Tass are allowed to return to Calaman to tell the people that the Golden General is now Kitiara's prisoner. Following their voyage into the Whirlpool, Tanis and his companions, along with Barum the Everman, find themselves in the ancient city of Istar, which is underwater and now inhabited by sea elves who saved them from death. The companions meet the sea elf Apoletta and her husband, a red-robed human mage named Zebula. At first, Apoletta is reluctant to help the companions or allow them to return to the surface. When Tanis tells her of the dragon armies and demonstrates his unawareness of the dragon's existence, she realizes how dire the situation is and relents. The companions wash up just outside Calaman with only vague memories of the underwater city. Later, Kitiara returns to Calaman and reveals that Lorana has been taken to the Temple of Takesis in Naraka. She demands the unconditional surrender and that Barum the Everman must be delivered to her within 3 weeks or she will kill Lorana. Tanis resolves to go to Naraka with Barum in an attempt to rescue Lorana, being accompanied by Caramon, Tika, Flint, and Tasselhoff. End of Book 2. Book 3. The companions depart for Naraka and meet up with Fizban and the Golden Dragon Pyrite, who polymorphs into a statue so he can be carried for the trip. During the trip, Flint dies due to a heart attack. Fizban then departs. Barum finally decides to tell the companions his full story. He explains that he and his sister named Jasla discovered a jeweled column half buried in the ground one day several years after the cataclysm. This was in fact the foundation stone of the King Priest Temple, and it had landed there after being hurled through various planes of existence. Barum was overcome with greed and proceeded to pry one of the emeralds loose, but Jasla sensed the sacred aura of the place. They struggled, and Jasla died when she fell against the column. The Queen of Darkness herself then manifested and seared the emerald into Barum's chest as a reward for freeing her, revealing that this column is like a doorway to the abyss. Jasla's pure spirit, however, remains with the column and blocks the Dark Majesty's escape, telling Barum to run as a new Temple of Takesis is built around the site. Since that day, Takesis' true goal has been to use the Everman to break his sister's enchantment upon the column and fully return to the world. The companions reach Naraka and the Temple of Takesis, underneath which they know the column remains. When the guards become suspicious of them, Tanis decides he is the riskiest prisoner to be discovered and needs to separate from the others. He quickly calls out to Kitiara nearby, who is parading atop her dragon in a ceremonial entrance into the city, and joins her, hoping to save Lorana while the others can surreptitiously take care of the column. Tanis tells Kit that he has come to offer himself in exchange for Lorana, and that he is prepared to serve under her as an officer in the dragon armies. Kitiara seems to agree, but actually intends for the elf maid to be tortured by Takesis and given to Lord Soth to become his undead consort. By forcing him to witness this, Kitiara hopes to break Tanis once and for all and remold him to her liking. Meanwhile, Gaken realizes the true identities of the ones who arrive with Tanis. He finds the heroes beneath the temple. When he tries to grab the Everman, though, the weaponless Barum kills him and an alarm sounds. Barum hears his sister Jasla calling to him and sets off to find the jeweled column. Caramon follows the Everman while Tika and Tass run off in another direction to draw off pursuit. Meanwhile, up above, the Grand Council of Dragon High Lords has begun, and Tanis marches into the Grand Chamber at the head of Kitiara's troops. Emperor Ariakis presides over the council since he possesses the crown of power, and as Kitiara explains, whoever holds the crown rules. Ariakis and Kitiara's forces nearly come to blows over protocol when Takesis herself arrives and imposes order. Lord Soth carries in a body that has been wrapped from head to toe in winding cloth and places it at Kitiara's feet. Kitiara then cuts open the wrappings to reveal a nearly suffocated Lorana. The captive elf maid staggers to her feet, and then Kitiara points out Tanis to her. To mask his true intentions from Takesis, Tanis treats Lorana very coldly, disheartening her. Kitiara then presents Lorana as her gift to Takesis and offers Tanis for service in the dragon armies. Takesis is pleased by Kitiara's gift. She agrees to have Lorana tortured to death and her soul given to Lord Soth. She also accepts Tanis as an officer, saying that he only needs to lay his weapon at the feet of Emperor Ariakis to symbolize his allegiance. Tanis makes the long march up to the stairs to the highest of Dragon High Lords, who is both a warrior and a high-level magic user. Instead of laying the sword at Ariakis' feet, Tanis reverses his stroke and kills the High Lord. A black-robed wizard standing next to Takesis overcame the prismatic shields and wards surrounding Ariakis, allowing Tanis' blow to kill him. Wow. Tanis seizes the crown of power and attempts to exchange it for Lorana. Taking advantage of this distraction, Lorana breaks free and attacks Kitiara, disarming and knocking down the High Lord. Tanis tries to stop Lorana from running off on her own, but after seeing him with Kitiara, Lorana no longer trusts him, so she shoves him off the platform. Lorana tells him that she has to choose her own way, that she is not to be bargained for or won like an object. Amidst the chaos, Tanis drops the crown and all Dragon Army factions start fighting for it in the favor of Takesis. In the confusion, the independent Lorana fights her way out of the chamber. Tanis chases after her. The goddess Takesis suddenly disappears, distracted by something more important than the fight over the crown. Deep beneath the temple, Caramon and Barum reach the chamber of the jewel column, but are blocked by the sudden appearance of Raceland. Caramon's brother is wearing robes of black and had been the magic user who earlier disarmed Ariakis' defenses for Tanis. He explains that he allied himself with Takesis to get greater power and presumably to obtain the Key of Knowledge. Upon second thought, he decides to betray her and allows Barum to go to the jewel column. The Everman throws himself upon the column and kills himself. As his spirit is reunited with his sister Jasla, the Dark Queen's doorway to the real world closes. As a result, Raceland has now taken away his two greatest rivals, Ariakis and Takesis, and is now the single most powerful force of evil on Krynn. The Queen of Darkness is banished once more, and her temple begins to collapse. Believing he still owes some small debt to his brother and to Tika and Tasselhoff, Raceland aids in their escape from Naraka. Raceland then summons Scion Bloodbane and flies away. I think that's a green dragon, if I'm not mistaken. But not before Caramon, who knows that his twin now walks the path of darkest evil, makes a plea to offer to accompany him. Raceland refuses and tells his twin that they are now, as the gods meant them to be, two whole and separate people. Tanis finally catches up with Lorana, but before he can say much to her, Kitiara arrives. She offers Tanis one last chance to join her as ruler of the dragon armies and warns him that Lord Soth is coming to collect Lorana. Not really. Tanis refuses and tells Kitiara that he will not only die for Lorana, but he will use his dying breath to ask Paladine to shield the elf-made soul, but Soth. He says that, despite his transgressions, he knows Paladine owes him and that it will be granted. Lorana then realizes Tanis has not become corrupted and that he does love her. Kitiara then surprisingly tells the pair the location of the same exit that the other companions used. Tanis and Lorana flee just as Lord Soth enters the chamber, and the Death Knight presents the Crown of Power to Kitiara. Kitiara reveals to Lord Soth that he has in fact exacted her final revenge on Tanis and Lorana, performing an act of mercy that will always keep her in Tanis' thoughts and poison his relationship with Lorana. Okay, the epilogue. I'm almost done. Exiting the city, Tanis and Lorana meet up with Fizban, Caramon, Tika, and Tasselhoff. Fizban then reveals that he's really the god Paladine. Tanis also recognizes him now as the old man at the inn who first spurred them into action by calling for the guards and dragons of Autumn Twilight. Fizban then tells the heroes that both the good and evil dragons will remain on Ansalon, and then the balance has been restored between good and evil. Fizban explains to Caramon that the spirit who helped Raceland at times and with whom Raceland made a bargain with in the Great Library is the ancient evil wizard Fistandantilus. But he points out that Raceland is not being possessed and he chose his life and actions all by himself. The companions separate.
Because he's an edgelord.
Yeah, he's
Sorry,
an
go
edgelord.
ahead.
He's an edgelord. Tasselhoff to travel to Kenderholm, Caramon and Tika to travel to Solas, and Tanis and Lorana to travel to Calaman. In the epilogue, Raceland travels to the Tower of High Sorcery in an abandoned neighborhood, the city of Palanthas, cursed and unoccupied since the end of the Cataclysm. He proclaims himself to be the master of past and present, whose coming was foretold, and is recognized by the spectral denizens of the tower and settles into his new home. End of book.
Yeah, thank God.
All I gotta say is, I'm thinking of SpongeBob. 1 year later.
Yeah, 1 year. Yeah, that's when the second trilogy starts.
And the book.
Yeah, that's when the second trilogy starts, where basically a cleric of Paladine falls in love with Raceland, and hijinks ensue.
Yeah.
It's more fun when Soth goes to friggin' Ravenloft.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I liked
that Ravenloft novel.
Yeah, Night of the Rose.
Night of the Black
Rose. I have it. Yeah, and it's a good book too, because he turns his attention to Kitiara. And like I said, it's an interesting.
That's a good Strahd rival.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's exactly why he went to Ravenloft. He was a rival. He was a rival to Strahd. Yeah. So
another case of careful what you wish for, you just might get it.
Exactly.
And so 0 to 5 stars. What do we?
Well, I put this whole series at a 4. This was when I was 15 years old, 15, 16. So it was a really good fantasy novel. It really, this and Dragon Riders of Pern is what really got me into fantasy. To my aunt's consternation, because she bought me a Wizard of Earthsea when I was 10 and I had zero interest in it.
Wow.
So yeah, I give it a 4 out of 5.
Oh.
I look at it like a 3. It's average tropey trope stuff doing tropey trope things.
Yeah.
It's part of the reason why, Dragonlance is good to read, bad to play, and it's just there. And people have made really, really, really dumb decisions, and I'm glad I watched anime where people make better decisions, like Redo of Healer.
Okay. I've seen plenty of anime where they don't make good decisions.
Yes, agreed on both sides.
Decisions.
Wait till you watch Redo of Healer.
Yeah, well, if I can ever get everything set up over here. But yeah. Okay, but Corey?
I give it a 3. I petered out by this book. Like I said, I read the series and I was just like, awesome. The first book, second book was good. Then at this point, I was already moving on to other books, and I had to read it almost out of obligation because I already read the first 2, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll read this.
I'm worse. I kept going. I literally got all the novels, all of them,
right.
Just because I'm a habitual completist.
Yeah, I mean that's the reason why I didn't give it a 5 out of 5, because the ending, it just was a little bit weak, just a little. That's the only criticism I have of it, really. So yeah, I mean, but
what do you
I
give
enjoyed it.
What do you give it,
Glenn?
You gave it a 4.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, not too bad. Not a bad series to read. I mean, now with various series like Corey's aforementioned Robert Jordan, and all these massive fantasy series that have come out in the intervening years. I mean, I have to
Sword
say,
of Shannara.
Yeah, Sword of Shannara, or Shinola, as somebody said. It was another author that said that. I can't remember who it was, but yeah, back in my days on the nets. Yeah, George R.R. Martin, who still wrote himself in a corner he can't get out of. And just a lot of fantasy novelists who've done it better, dare I say. You just have to remember this was written for almost 40 years ago now.
Not crazy.
Yeah, isn't it?
TSR did have a strong novel department, so
yeah, this is what made it.
They
strong.
Used to.
Well, they did, back then they did for sure.
Yep.
They just let their authors go crazy as long as it didn't completely screw up the campaign world or the continuity within. Ed Greenwood made his bones like that.
That's right.
By the way, did you guys see the video on Facebook? Well, I know you're not on Facebook, Fawn, but there was a video Ed Greenwood put out where he has a repository of all this Forgotten Realms stuff, and it's like 3 or 4 53-foot trailers full of stuff.
No,
I believe it.
Yeah.
Because he started writing that. He started writing that one. What was it? 15 or something like that.
Yeah, it was like 68 when he wrote it, the year I was born.
Yeah, this is that predates D&D.
By 6 years, yes. And then he adapted it, which was, I saw that video and I was just amazed. So,
that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, look it up on Facebook. It's worth checking out. I mean, just go to his page. I think it's on his page somewhere.
Well, folks, that was the more than complete synopsis of a Dragonlance book. And if you want to talk about it, and I can leave the room. No, if you could want to talk about it, go ahead and email us at THACOshammer@gmail.com. Okay, I'm sure somebody will be happy to look.
Yeah. Or call in and complain about the long reading with Russ, or AKA reading with Brian.
Oh, thanks.
405-757-7547. Hey,
I'm glad he doesn't do Reading Rainbow. The kids that never get off the air, off the TV.
Jeez, now come on, that's not nice. What?
We're teasing you. We're teasing you because we love you. We're teasing you because we love you.
Let's see. Yeah,
and we love you because we can tease you.
What is next in Tomes of Legend? Now that I think about it,
I don't know.
Oh, the Cleric Kenticle.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did Drist. We did that. I got to put the Finderstone trilogy in here too. I'm gonna
wait till he gets into the Spelljammer books.
Nope,
because I never read them. Spelljammer, I have no interest in it.
Oh, okay. Because I
shout out
figured
to All Dragon. Shout out to All Dragon with his Spelljammer campaign on Twitch. I've never really been a big fan of Spelljammer. No camera, Marcus.
Anyway.
They can't see you.
Yeah. Okay.
My son was waving at the picture-in-picture because he's trying to get me to wrap up so I can take him to the park.
Well, we have to close this Splat book anyway.
Okay.
So, I guess we're going to close it up, folks. It was fun, I guess.
Yeah.
And say goodbye, Full On.
Alrighty, Gamer Nation. We shall see you when we see you, and always look out for the beach dwellers who are just way too relaxed and unconcerned.
Say goodbye, Brian.
Yeah, just remember, folks, if you see a sparkly yellow-orange dragon coming out of the sun while you're sailing on your ship laden with cargo, be prepared to offer tribute.
Corey, you want to say goodbye?
Goodbye, folks. I hope you all enjoy yourselves, have a good time gaming, and like everyone else said, make sure you get those 20 rolls in. Have a good one.
I thought you were going to say, send us those 20s. You'll always get we could do this like an evangelistic. You send us $20, we'll guarantee you 3 crits in your next game.
Praise the God, praise the Lords of RNG.
Yeah, praise Gygax. Anyway, oh God, I don't want the Midwest people who are in here to hear me then. Anyway, I'm DM Glen, so I'll see you guys next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer. Bye-bye.
Still think it's chaotic neutral, but that's just me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but it's Corey, you know? Anyway,
yeah.
We're out.
THACO's Hammer theme is provided by the Diablo Swing Orchestra. You'll find them on Jamendo.com. All other additional music for this episode was provided by Kevin MacLeod. You'll find more of his music on Incompetech.com. Be sure to visit our website at THACOsHammer.info. If you have any questions or comments, email us at THACOsHammer@gmail.com. Remember, that's an O, not a 0. You can also find us on the second edition forums at osrgaming.org and at purpleworm.org. Or give us a call and leave us a voicemail at 405-806-0555. See you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer.